Welcome to Coastside Poetry. Thanks to those of you who've zoomed in and those who are watching on YouTube. We meet virtually on the second Tuesday of every month to celebrate spoken poetry. I'm Diane Lee Mumi, and Steve Long and I are your hosts this evening. Our featured poet event is being recorded and streamed live onto YouTube as we speak. So anyone can look at it later. We'll be posting the link on our website, coastsidepoetry.org. This evening, we welcome Caroline Goodwin, San Mateo County's very first poet laureate. Caroline's recent collections are Old Snow, White Sun from JackLeg Press, Matanuska from AquiferPress in Wales, and she lives in Montara with her two pugs, Lyric and JimiHendrix. Please welcome Caroline.
Diane and Steve and everyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just thrilled to be here and to see the poetry lovers and poets in the room. And it just really lifts my heart. And I'm so grateful to be invited. So thank you so much. I'm going to read a section from my book, Madrigals, which came out a couple years ago from a little press in Southern California called Big Yes Press. I'm very grateful to Paula Lowe of Big Yes Press, who included some of my visual art in the book. And so I'm just going to read the first section. It takes about 15 minutes, and I'm going to read it right through to you. Thank you. And as just a little bit of a framework to understand some of the refrains in the sequence, I will just tell a little story and then I'll get going. I'm just gonna start my stopwatch. There we go. So in 2016, I lost my sweet husband of 25 years in a cycling accident. And I went to mark the year anniversary of his passing. I went up to Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories, which is the capital of the Northwest Territories. It's an amazing place. And I went back 2 more times after that. But you'll hear the word the name Yellowknife mentioned a couple times in the sequence. Also, I found out while I was there that there was a mine that operated, a gold mine called the Giant Mine, that operated from 1948 until 2004. And it was, they extracted gold, and one of the byproducts of extracting gold is arsenic trioxide waste. It blew out into the air and fell in snow, and actually when a child ate the snow and was poisoned and died. And they're trying to figure out what to do with all this arsenic trioxide waste. 237,000 tons remain underground outside of Yellowknife, and the people of Yellowknife get their hair and nails tested to just monitor what has leaked out into the environment. So you'll hear a little bit about that. And that's enough arsenic to kill every living thing on the planet. And then in the sequence, there's just a bit of a quote that I found from a book about sculpture that was published in 1964, and it talks about sculpture. And I just want to read this little paragraph, because I think when we're writing poems, we're making little objects, and they're kind of like sculptures. We're sort of building a thing. So in this intro to recent American sculpture from 1964, it says, interestingly to me, and you'll notice the gender of all the artists featured in the book. What we see are scraps of iron and chunks of wood, crushed auto bodies and rusted boilers, housewares and plaster casts, strips of canvas and bent steel rods. It's like a poem already. The sculptor uses whatever he feels is needed. His choice of material is personal and immediate. His techniques are free from convention. He exploits methods of working which we usually attribute to painting or collage, welding or sewing, engineering or architecture, all according to rules set by himself, only for himself. Baudelaire has said, the rules of poetry are written after the poem. The art of carving has become the art of combination, aggregation. It is an art with an impact as strong as the combination of steel and concrete, which builds our cities. And then this is a quote by Coleridge that you'll hear in my poem sequence. Art is the subjection of matter to spirit, so as to be transformed into symbols in and through which the spirit reveals itself. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it was just a little bit of found language that I used to start this sequence. And lastly, I'll just tell you that you will hear, I was feeling a little bit negative and misanthropic. So when watching Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro, he has a great monologue that just kind of is toxic and mean. So you'll hear a little bit of Travis Bickle's voice in this sequence. So rules written after. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and read it right through, and that'll take me up to the end of my time with you. The subjection of matter to spirit, to the floor, to ceiling windows and bookshelves, to the boy who stood at the rail for a while before jumping. Please tell me exactly when my voice became so pained, my heartbeat a particular problem. A real rain will come, you promised, under the apple tree, under the green worm hatching a ball of cloth in the gullet. Your staggering hands, palm reader, your turning and turning soft penstemon wings. When you asked for me, I responded with my whole self, not understanding the puzzle bark or the scent of begonia or the nature of your mouth on my mouth. And so a dark time came to the watery blue lines, heaven. And so that which had sprung open began to return to itself, a flock of clouds shaped like soldiers or gestures. Someday a real rain will come and wash you, golden thorax, all the king's horses and men. Aram, patina of rust, I welcome you. I welcome you. Call the cobweb pure space, the broken pallet pure time. I slide my foot into the fur shoe you offer me, and when morning comes again, I drink it up. 5 pelicans in a clear sky are not an omen. 5 times I stroll round the meadow and sing. To receive the revelation, to capture the sphinx moth, bright living thing. At the rally, several teens arrested for refusing to disperse, for following the unfettered heart. At the school, an active shooter. How? Sometimes when I look, it's all stone, sometimes snow. If I could fold it back, if the photographer could capture the sharp-shinned hawk and the lion deliver it to my doorstep, take the toughest fibers of my heart and just unravel, take the leather of my feet. At the end of the day, I wonder, privilege, my burning host, my rust, every breath I take is filled with it. Knock there. Waiting for the spell, clamathon fire, blue smoke at the root, I approach the ravine, each blade of grass here now a chance, a multitude. If you were to peek inside, if the cloak of ashes were enough, my love, my being entire, the livelong day, the hayfields winking in the breeze, the hayfields high, and my body a bowl of shells or a shelter appearing at the edge of the blaze. Would you see me then? Would your rusted assemblage turn its wheels around at least? Trust me, it don't matter. Either way, it's all code now. The fire, 20% contained. My gaze, a collection of screens. Bergamot. I walk right into the bone house, mean house, after the wren comes back. And that which had been severed all at once surrounds me. So many curled up claw feet, one would think I'd be unable to speak. And the cup of beaks would offer itself, clacking. If I could believe in the sustenance of wings or any kind of pattern, if the lovely way in which our daughter dances were a sign. One California condor purged of lead by veterinarians. The orange tree filling up with juice. And I can hear you in the door frame. I can hear your words today. The Tower of Silence, the property, bicycle, cell phone, wedding ring, evidence, helmet, county coroner receipt number 17762. Check 1, body dressed, partly dressed, nude, night clothes. A group of vultures is called a committee, venue, or volt. In flight, a kettle, feeding, awake. Rules written after. Give us this day the sphinx moth and ladybug and cedar waxwing and pale sky pale for a while. Please tell me exactly when that lovely note became a shriek, nameless and naked, when the hunter laid down his rifle on the far bank and your face floated out over the water like a plate. Your heart an icicle, beekeeper, your breath on the glass a white print. When winter came and I called out for you, I had no sense of the marmot or the lynx or the silk of your wrist on my wrist. And so we rode, clothed in moth wings. God help. And that which at one time had comforted started to morph at the back of the throat, something trapped or traveling. There will be time, there will be signs. Give us this day the sky, the succor, and the bees. Crowfoot. I step backwards into the loneliness, the rundown porch and kitchen table. So many foremothers in the cupboards, their arms full of weeds, at the edge of the lake, at the very cusp of ice. And what will it take? Cattail, taproot. If I could believe in herbs or poultice, in love charms or magic glycoside for hikers, foragers, plant lovers, I'd place a lantern in the shade. For the sick and the starving, for the woman at the river now, shining braids, harvest in summer when fully open, columbine. And then the carved object masterless, and then your arms around me, mandolin. And I hear them knocking where the dishes should be, the cups and bowls, every riven string. When the botanist sprinkles her prickles into my dream, it is your beaten face. Knock there. Now the house fills up with yellow light, and that which is reciprocal, that which seals the windows and doors, unmoors me. I asked for a hand, and you handed it all back. Cloud cover, gold, soil, black, door frame, moth-colored, roof, black. At the root of each blossom, a nut, gutter, twigs, and leaf mold, sludge. Tell me what you came here for. Tell me, what basket of tricks or handful of sunlight? And when I crack it open, what labyrinth, what rib cage or skull? Kick it down. Wait, kick me there. Devil's Club. To lie back in that green shade, thorns and veins. What I long for is very simple. A pelican foot or beak. In the cove, a wave over my ankle, quiet. I'll describe the sensation, origami wing. I'll report the news of my heart, the bundle of his. I am the woman with beads at her throat, slow to anger, the mother, the monster, the moment, the child arrives, and I dive down her spine, her Arctic light. A man is folding his laundry, a man's hands on the fragrant cloth. Soon I will lie back again and feel around for your teeth, that sharpness you offer me. Thank you. Of course it's raining a little. Of course the rain touches my feet. Rules written after. Look up at the skies, at the guiding love and colt's foot wind, that which burns, starscape and alpenglow, your father's voice and fur and verse and spray paint, brick, that which pulses along the edge of the city, shining, broken. Your eyes, my lover, your fire folk, hematite, cottonwood, far away, and all the pretty little beetles on the sill. If I sweep them away, then will you? So there I go again, right into Peddler, the Promise, and how easily the fire travels through me now, down to my very catkins and bark, my marrow, hallowed cells and incense, my old canoe, and starlight, you branching there. Elder, to be a man, a stinging nettle, to try my best for the prize, to receive my mother's ire and sweet liniment, to bear up a weed or a net or a glove to uncover that which held me down. I stroll to the end of the pier where the light began. In the forest, a million filaments, each silver strand across my lips. In Yellowknife, an old man cures a hide, and the leather softens, and when I think of you now, you become the oldest rocky outcrop, every digit at my jaw, tonalite, nice. No, 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 of course I laid myself across the fire, but the way in which my lips were sewn shut, the most painful way, did come as a surprise. How many different notes can I swallow? How many times discover my own torn eye? To be a man, you said. To try. Knock there. I ask, what truth? And then I think to cry out. The myriad leaves of the willow, the different types of wool. At the solstice, you remind me of King Salmon, slick and a little cruel. A long sheet of ice falls away. There are silver scales in the garden path, an image of you lighting the tree. And my good companions, four-legged or winged, take off quickly. Kettle, ivory tusk, mandolin, every pill bug rolled up into a world, every bead, dark spikes underneath the thistle. And I ask again, what truth? And then I think to cry out. Nothing opens of itself, no bright fish or blue ghost. At the bitter end, of course, it's just me. Fireweed. I walked right out through the gate you left, after the rain folded back, and that which gave permission also bestowed the burden. So many nights without you, one would think I'd be accustomed by now, and the book of signs would be a solace, not an arrow. To see them unwrap me, the talkiness, the risen loaves. In Yellowknife, a woman cuts and lifts her own wrist. The green dawn, the decorated quiver, arsenic. And she is my hero, my friend with the leaves at her eyes. Her mud mouth packed with shoots, the only true sign of spring, that everlasting, inky shadow. If I could hunt you down, my love, the white sky behind the cypress or the overgrown hedge, if the hedge would just offer up all its berries. If at dawn I could receive the faraway surf or anything with feathers. There would, of course, be rose thorns and recognition, gold at the crown of my head. And this is the last one. Rules written after. Even if you leave me, paper white, Labrador tea, shepherd's purse, plantain, even if you turn away forever, 1,000 leaves, 1,000 songs in the field of heath, where I wake up too late to gather the slivers, kaleidoscope and cedar, claw, moon, and star tooth, my faith in every rift the painting will attain. Your green face, carpenter, welder, your fireweed and sweet pea brushing my eyelids. When you asked for me, a crow called down and the room tilted back into squirrel talk, woodpecker, twigs, nails, broad wing of need. And so I close up shop. Heaven help. And so that which I had offered, that illusion, sachet, fragrant kiss on the back of the hand, where the spirit hobbles over a familiar marsh, is an old song, because the night belongs. Cedar waxwing, lodgepole pine, Godspeed. That's the sequence. I couldn't see any of you. I was just reading from my screens. I
Thank
liked
you.
it.
Thank you, Carolyn. Oh, what a tender, beautiful reading. Thank you so much. Oh, I invite folks to unmute and make noise. Noise is always good.
That was magical.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention. I really appreciate it.
So happy you could be with us. Oh, no.
What again was the name of that book?
This is madrigals. And actually, if anyone, I do it on a sliding scale, 0 to $20, whatever works for you. If you want to just put your address in the chat, is that okay, Diane?
Actually, I was going to suggest that you put all your information in, yes, and that people, yes, people give
Yeah.
you their information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want
Yeah.
to, I'd love to pop a copy in the mail to you. And I just, what I usually do is like, when people put their name and address in the chat, I will take a picture of it on my phone and then I have it. Whatever works.
Actually, you can save the chat.
You can,
I
and then
I
never
save
can
it.
find it. Yeah, okay.
I'll save
Okay,
it. So,
thank
yeah.
you, because I never can. I save them and then where'd they go?
Yeah.
Caroline, I just love how every time I hear that piece or read it, and I've read it many enough times, it's still like completely new. How does that happen? And also every time it makes me want to start writing and also just be out in a nature walk. But I always think it's the poems that make me want to write or that bring forth so much creative energy in a reader are just really close to the source.
Well, thank you. I feel like I was very lucky in that I came across this. This is it's from California College of the Arts. It was just on one of the giveaway tables.
Oh.
Library, recent American sculpture, October 15th to November 29th, 1964, the Jewish Museum. And I picked it up because Robert Creeley was one of the people who wrote about one of the sculptors. And then also just this extraordinary art is a subjection of matter to spirit, so as to be transformed into symbols and in and through which the spirit reveals itself. Oh my God. So I feel like I happened upon something very rich.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you, Lisa.
Just extraordinary language, Carolyn. Just an amazing experience letting the images wash over you as you read. Just beautiful.
I was going to say the same thing. I absolutely love the listing of all the herbs and the birds and it was so rich and deep, and how you interspersed some difficult experience that you had, and it allows the reader to not fall off a cliff. It gives you a sense of, being grounded in the world as you're moving through grief and sorrow and these experiences that you had that, so heartbreaking. So thank you very much for that. I was jotting a lot of notes. It's like going.
It's so I feel also grateful that I have this art practice, this poetry practice, and I'm sure everyone probably has had a loss, but several, but like a really sudden traumatic loss like that, of us may have had, right? But it really does a number on you.
Oh my God.
Everything is different after that. And you're like, okay, how can I make my way through this? And I think poetry is just a great way.
Yes, it's so healing. It's so healing, and it's such a gift to share that experience into the world with other people, because we all either have had it or are going to have it. you know, a terrible loss like that, and it's a little tool to, or a little seed that goes into the pouch that, you know, maybe I'm going to pull out when I need to, based on your experience. And so I thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Shauna.
I
Carolyn,
wanted to say I lost my husband last fall, and I have not written, I've written about him, but not about his passing and my grief. And listening to you made me feel like I need to do that. So thank you.
Welcome.
I've had the kind of the opposite experience. I've been a widow now for 26 years, and somehow I can't stop writing about my late husband. So who knows how it all affects us.
Carolyn, in regards to that, it's very powerful the way that you've taken all of the flora and fauna of nature and have recreated your lover with those things, those items, so that if you want to be reunited with him, all you have to do is go for a hike.
Oh,
Very nice, Carolyn. Thank you.
you, Dan.
What a beautiful way of saying that.
Caroline, I wanted to say I thought that your sequence was some of the most powerful and moving poetry that I have heard in a long time. And you read very well as well. It's just such a pleasure. I put my name and address in the chat, and I will happily pay $20 for a copy of the book. How shall I go about getting the money to you? Moving poetry that I have heard in a long time, and you read.
Bob, I'll write you a little note in there of my, you know, I do Venmo, PayPal, just old-fashioned check. I'll just write a note when I put the book in the mail to you.
Oh, excellent. Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. This was a terrific read. Very, very good. And you read.
It sounds like we're having some kind of a
Echo. I
feedback.
do Venmo, PayPal, just old-fashioned check. I'll just write a note when I put the book in the mail to you.
Oh, excellent. Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. This was a terrific.
Yikes. Okay, I think perhaps we'll stop recording in a moment. Thank you so much, Caroline. Those of you in the Zoom room, please stay online if you'd like to be part of the open mic. Thanks to all our YouTube listeners, and please tune in for our next regular Coastside Poetry event on Tuesday, June 10th, when we'll welcome Clive Matson. Thanks so much for joining us at Coastside Poetry and for helping to keep the lamps of poetry burning.